Hey YouTube. When I was editing the last video I did on the big steel tent changes, I looked and saw that back here on the desk here there was something I had intended. I'd set it back there so I could do a review video on it, and then got overcome by events and didn't do it. So I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna take care of that right now. Before I do, I'm going to say that this particular product was brought to my attention by a member of Bannerman's Camp Facebook group. And if anything else, what this review should do is tell you one of the reasons why you probably should go over there and join Bannerman's Camp. And I want to take this opportunity to give a pat on the back to everybody who is a member there. We have about almost 2,000 members now, and a whole bunch of them contribute a good deal. I am entirely gratified with the way that the Bannerman's Camp Facebook page has turned out, by the enthusiasm and the depth of knowledge of some of our members and their willingness to share. We also share websites, articles, eBay auctions of things that might go cheap, a whole bunch of other stuff. I'd say go over to the Bannerman's Camp Facebook page, and I will make you a member if you apply, unless you are a communist or a child molester. If you are a communist molester, you go right to the front of the line. Okay? I also want to take this opportunity to tell you that you should also look at joining Sean Dyer's Traditional Camp Crafters Guild. There's a link in the comments on that. I have to say that while on Bannerman's Camp we have a pretty extensive file section that has a whole bunch of PDF books and articles in it that have been contributed by the members. The Camp Crafters Guild has got a reference section very similar that is superior to the one on Bannerman's Camp. And I don't say that lightly, because I started Bannerman's Camp. I should be singing the praises, and I do sing the praises. But the reference section over at Camp Crafters Guild is better than the one on Bannerman's Camp. You should join both. Anyway, let's get to the meat of the matter. Okay, one of the more ubiquitous items you see in photographs, vintage photographs of campsites, vintage catalogs, books written by authors of the period, magazines, is the Stonebridge lantern. Okay, this is an original Stonebridge lantern, and I used to use it until I found a reproduction that was being sold by Garrett Wade. And here's a picture of what it looked like. We'll get a little bit more into that reproduction and the one I'm about to show you here in a little bit. But this is an original Stonebridge lantern. We're missing the mica here. It's totally foldable, okay, and it will burn a big fat candle in there. Actually gives out some fairly decent light, particularly if you're walking around in the woods at night. Now, that Garrett Wade reproduction cost $58. What our Bannerman's Camp member pointed us towards was this reproduction, which is on Amazon. And here's what that looks like. Okay. I have looked at this. This is pretty much I believe the same people who are making Garrett Wade's Stonebridge lantern reproduction are making this one. It's overseas, but I believe it's the same manufacturer, and they're just selling to two different people. Now, the beauty of this thing is it's got the same kind of thinking that we get from the early 20th century camping gear that makes it all so very cool. This will fold up completely flat and can fit in, I probably could fit in my vest pocket. Okay, I'm not going to do it here because it's a very fiddly process. Here's what it looks like when it's folded up, and it's also shown folded in the Garrett Wade advertisement. You will be able to find a video somewhere on YouTube showing you how to fold this dang thing. I will say, number one, in use, it's going to get hot, and that's why you've got the bail handle. Okay, you should only handle it using the bail. The protector, the cover here will protect your fingers from the heat. But if you grab this and try to pick it up, you're gonna burn your little fingers. Okay. Now, when I first saw this thing, the Garrett Wade reproduction about 8 years ago, I thought that this was an incorrect reproduction of this lantern to save weight, but to save price, to save money, make it a cheaper reproduction. As you can see, it's about 2/3 the size. Okay, you heard it here first. I was wrong. Okay, this is actually a reproduction of the second model, a Stonebridge lantern that was produced from, I believe, 1900 to 1905. Okay, and here's a picture of that. It's the intermediate over on the left-hand side of the picture as we're seeing it. The difference between the original and this one is made of brass to make it look even cooler than it already is, and the original was made out of steel, and I believe they also made an aluminum version. On Bannerman's Camp, there is a link to a PDF, and on the Campcrafters Guild, there is a PDF uploaded that goes through the entire history of the Stonebridge lantern. Okay, again, another plug for those. But this is good as a living history piece if you are doing classic camping living history anywhere from 1900 until about 1939. Because if you're like me, and this is a piece of camping gear that you bought in 1905 or 2005, translate to our real lives today, you're like me. I've got camping gear that I bought in 2005 that I'm still using today. Okay, when I go modern camping, I'll go to the closet and pull out that piece of gear. I've had it for 20 years because it still works. So this is a good piece that will authentically fit in the entire, almost the entire classic camping period from 1890 until 1939. Except this one starts at about 1900. Okay, now people have asked me, how do I get the candle in there? Because they have looked at the bottom of this thing and they see a little wire arrangement down there. Okay, well, part of what you can do with that is, if you'll notice on the left and the right, you've got a couple little wires there. Okay, they're vertical in this picture. You can spread them out. Come in here and just spread them out a little bit to match the diameter of your candle. And I'm going to set this on my knee. You won't be able to see it. You just mash it down in there and reach in and squeeze those little wires until it gets close to the side of the candle. Okay? Can you see that? Oh. Of course, it's not designed to go this way. But anyway, just mash it down in there. Okay? And it'll burn. And again, we will light this in a totally non-authentic manner. Stand my wick up. Everybody loves it when I stand my wick up. Okay, in a little while, that wax, the heat inside the candle lantern will get that wax soft enough. The weight of the candle will push it down, and a little bit of wax will dribble down and hold it in place. I'm trying to lock this in place. I'm just going to talk about it. All right, now, people have asked, this is, the originals were made with a mica glass on it, okay? This is some kind of high heat plastic. I have burned this candle in here for about an hour with no deformation in the plastic, okay? You can, if you want to defarb this, you can go to Amazon or eBay and buy mica sheets. Just measure this window to make sure you're buying the same size sheet. Buy it a little bit bigger. You can use an X-Acto knife to cut it to size. Okay, let's see how much light that gives out. It'll give out a little bit of heat too. Let me blow that out. Changing the mica is kind of self-explanatory. You just have to detach one end of these little support wires, kind of pull it out of the way, slide the plastic out, put the mica in. Okay, but if you want period authentic lighting, get you a Stonebridge lantern. I made my candle fall. Get you one of these little Stonebridge lanterns. They're cheap, they're authentic, they look great at night. If you've got 5 or 6 guys sitting around a campsite with one of these in front of them and sitting in front of a campfire, it actually makes for a pretty nifty looking woodland picture. Anyway, see you over at Bannerman's Camp and Sean Dyer's Camp Crafters Guild. I'll be in both places. We'll see you down the trail.